Hi, I'm Antony John and welcome to the Manic Organic. I started farming 20 years ago under the watchful eye of my father-in-law, Joe van den Heuvel, a Dutch dairy farmer. I had a lot to learn, but he had 7 beautiful daughters that made learning a lot easier. My reward at the end of it was the farm next door and daughter number 5, the beautiful Tina. Tonight we're getting ready for another reward from Joe. He's now a talented wrought iron craftsman, and we're going to replace this somewhat used patio furniture with a new set from him. In return, we're going to be making a salad of heirloom candy cane and golden beets, and a traditional Dutch dish called boerenkool, made with dinosaur or black kale and purple Viking potatoes. It's a rib-sticking good farmer's dish. Het zal hartstikke verrukkelijk worden, zeker weten. Well, I still need to work on my Dutch a little bit. Out with the old, in with the new. Our farm is nestled in some of the best farmland in Ontario. Great soil and growing conditions and organic growing practices mean we can produce some of the best tasting organic vegetables around. Beets are one of the vegetables that will yield 2 crops a year. Come with me and I'll show you how. You can get some really huge beets and give them a head start on the season by growing them indoors in seedling trays and then transplanting them out into your garden. This is something you'd usually do in spring. Just make sure that you have a good 1 inch of organic potting soil in the seed trays and seed the beets in. Okay, so we've seeded these out. They're about 4 or 5 weeks old now in the seedling tray, and we're going to seed them outside. Easy enough to do. Now I like to use a magic marker and take a handful here and just make a little hole with the magic marker. Tuck the root in, make sure you don't bend the root double, and firm it in. Give them about 4 inches in between. Give them a bit of water. There you go. And you're off to the races with your beets. Beets, beets, beets. I like beets. Fabulous. Beets. Beets, you can eat them steamed, roasted, pickled in the winter from the root cellar. Great. Every part of the beet is edible. Leaves we can use in salads. And of course the beautiful beets themselves are always great. These heirloom varieties were bred at a time when flavor really mattered. And they are 3 of the most delicious beets you can grow. These are cylinder beets. They're great for pickling. That shape will fit into a mason jar just perfectly. They're also really good for beet fries. You can deep fry sections of these and they're delicious. All 3 of these are very, very sweet. We've got golden beets here that on the inside is just like a peach. Look at that, isn't that pretty? And that's non-bleeding. You won't stain a plate with this. The same with these candy cane beets here. Now this variety is called candy cane because of the red and white stripes throughout the inside, but I think they taste as sweet as candy. It's like an apple. It's fabulous. Now all beets are planted the same way, green side up of course, but they're also put in a ½ an inch deep into the ground in rows about 1 foot apart. That way the beet leaves will canopy over and help shield out the weed seeds that might germinate. Now to plant these seeds, I'm using my precision seeder here with a beet plate in the hopper. Put in a handful of beet seeds, and away we go. Feel a little bit like a duck in a shooting gallery right about now. Plant another crop out in July. They'll mature when the weather's cooler in the late fall. When the frost hit them, something really neat happens. All of the starches in the beets start changing into sugars. So the sweetest beets you can possibly grow will come out of your soil in October and November when it's nice and cold. They're really worth the effort. Once your beets are planted, you have to watch out for the weeds. But on my organic farm, I'm not afraid of them. Now I know things may look pretty dismal here with all these weeds around us, but trust me, this is the way things grow on our organic farm. In another month, when the frosts come, these annual weeds around us will get killed off by the cold. The beets, on the other hand, are frost hardy, and they'll keep growing, even into November. So when the colder weather approaches, we're going to have less weeds to deal with and more delicious beets to eat. These are golden beets. You've got lovely golden roots on them that are just bright like sunshine when you slice them open. The stems are a bright, bright yellow color, and the tops have that lovely yellow vein running right down the middle. They've got a distinctive flavor. Like me, it's a little bit nutty, and you can tell that they're healthy because they're very, very round. You don't want beets that are sort of taproot or carrot shaped. It means they've had too much trouble getting water and they're probably going to be a little bit bitter. That's it for the world of beets.
For the rest of tonight's meal, I have to check out the purple Viking potatoes, the dinosaur kale, and, while I'm in the mood, the lovely Tina. My father-in-law is supposed to be over for dinner tonight with our new patio table. But you can't rush an artist, especially when he's holding a welding torch.
Morning, Joe.
Yeah, good morning, Anthony.
How are you doing today?
Not bad at all. What do you think of it?
This is a work of art.
Yeah.
Looks fantastic.
I'm glad you're pleased with it.
Well, I promise you and Joanne will be the first guests.
Oh, that sounds great.
While Joe's practicing his craft here, I'm going to practice my craft back home in the fields and harvest some purple Viking potatoes. Wait till you see what they look like. I was framed. Hey, I want more potatoes too. My in-laws are potato connoisseurs, so I wouldn't fool around with any other variety but these purple Vikings. They really are the best you can grow. When the leaves start dying off a bit like this, you know the plant's ready to harvest. Have a look at that. Isn't that a beautiful color? You won't find purple Vikings a lot in the grocery stores because, well, like you just saw, they don't yield a tremendous amount. So commercial growers can't be bothered with that. But for flavor, for color, you just can't beat them. Let me show you what they look like inside here. You got crisp snow white flesh. When you make mashed potatoes out of these babies, it's almost like mother of pearl. They're just so white. It's creamy, just a joy to look at, and man, it's even better to eat, I'll tell you. The worst pest in your potato patch is going to be the Colorado potato beetle. This is the larval stage, and you can see him happily munching away on my potatoes. Well, one of the ways we can help control this is by using straw. The adults overwinter in the soil, and putting straw down will help confuse them so they can't get to the plants to lay eggs. What you do, take a nice handful of straw on either side of the plant. You want to get a good thick layer up against the plant, and then take the soil and throw it up over the straw. The other thing you're going to end up with if you do this is cleaner potatoes. This is a pirate bug. It's a not often seen but a greatly appreciated ally in the potato garden. These little guys eat tons and tons of potato beetles. The advantage of growing organically is that you're not using general insecticides that kill all animal life. If this were a conventional potato field right now, this guy would be dead along with the potato beetles. Wolfgang, how are you? So you got my message?
The ringing of the phone usually means another order coming in from one of our restaurant customers.
Yeah, I got some dinosaur kale ready. Okay.
Wolfgang needs 20 cases of dinosaur kale, in addition to the weekly restaurant orders of 150 pounds of salad greens. They want their produce as fresh as possible, so Tina and I wait for the orders to come in before our talented team of pickers harvests from the fields.
Now, if your mom knew about this kale, she'd tell you to eat this over spinach because it's loaded with vitamins and it's got lots and lots of iron in it. This is the size of kale you want for the dinner table. Any bigger and it starts becoming a little bit fibrous and tough. At this stage, it's nice and tender, the flavor's mild, and don't pick it all, save some for the fall because it tastes really good when the frost starts sweetening it up. Well, as you can see by the insect damage we've got on these plants, conventional growers are going to have to throw a fair bit of pesticide on the plants to keep them nice and clean. I'll take a few holes in my kale any day, knowing that it's got nothing else on it but nature's goodness.
So happy, it's such an honor to be voted King of the Furrow. I hope for world peace, and I'd like to thank everyone who got me here in this kale field.
99% of the time I love butterflies, but there's one kind that just gets me going, and it's these cabbage white butterflies. They are big trouble for an organic grower because after they visit my plants, they leave one of these little fellas behind. This is a cabbage white butterfly caterpillar, and they cause lots and lots of damage on the leaves. Now, these guys are perfect specimens of dinosaur kale. When I get some insects, I get some holes, I can live with that. When it gets to this stage, I've got a big problem, and it's time for me to go and get the BT.
Since I'm a certified organic grower, I wouldn't want to upset the balance on my farm by spraying chemical pesticides. Even though I'm using a sprayer, the spray itself is a naturally occurring bacterial powder mixed with water.
What I like about BT, it's a bacteria, Bacillus thuringiensis, and it's specific only to caterpillars from these cabbage white butterflies.
Now, there are certain rules and guidelines that govern organic farming, and BT is an approved organic spray. And it tastes great!
In kale, ex-kale. In kale, ex-kale.
Got to hurry. I got deliveries to make in Stratford, and then Tina and I have a date in the kitchen. I think we're going Dutch. My wife Tina has just finished filling the orders for organic greens. The gourmet salad mix is packed into Ziploc bags, ready to go. While Tina holds the fort, I'm off to Stratford to make my delivery run.
The guys here at Anything Grows have everything you could possibly imagine for a garden. They're also on my weekly vegetable list, so I get to shop once a week as well. Today I found a gargoyle in there that's going to be perfect in my garden at home.
Now, my credit card won't get a workout anywhere around here. I barter my greens whenever I can.
Anthony, how are you? Good.
Good. I got your weekly groceries.
Oh,
I got
good.
some baby leeks and some torpedo onions and Jim's
Excellent.
favorite, baby beets.
Baby Beets.
Yeah.
Well, they
That's
the right hit?
$350. It's a boutique business.
take a
you know.
check. That's
Okay.
great.
Thanks, Alan.
Anthony.
See ya.
All right.
Boy, the resemblance is uncanny. I think this bad boy's coming to my garden. Well, it's time to go home to the garden. I don't want to go to the garden. You're going to the garden. I don't want to go to the garden. You're going to the garden.
My wife Tina's taught me so much, and today she's going to teach me how to make boerenkool, a traditional Dutch dish that we're going to have to celebrate the new table my clever father-in-law made. So, love, why don't you show me how to do it?
Okay, the first thing we're going to do is use some of this beautiful dinosaur kale, and I'm going to strip it from the coarse stem that's right down the center. Now, the big thing about this kale is, according to my mom, it has to be chopped very, very finely, and absolutely none of that coarse stem left in, because otherwise you're left with that little chewy bit at the end.
Sticklers for detail, huh?
Yep.
Okay, while you're doing that, I'm going to take care of potatoes. Now, these are purple Viking potatoes. I like to leave a little bit of the skin on these purple Vikings sometimes, just to add a little bit of extra color. Always the artist, eh? Okay, time for the Dutch oven. Bring that here.
All right. Okay, first thing we're going to do is put in our layer of potatoes.
Okay.
Kale on top of that.
Wow, that's beautiful.
And we're going to add some beef stock. Probably about 1.5 cups, and we'll check it halfway through cooking to see how the potatoes are doing. They absorb a lot of liquid during cooking.
So that's pretty well covering the potatoes in the bottom layer there.
There we go. Lid on and into the oven. I think it's time to check the boerenkool.
Okay, it's been about 15 minutes.
Oh, lovely.
Great.
Let's have a
So
little...
the stock's all right?
Yeah, lots of stock yet. So
Okay.
if you just place those on the top, and we'll return it to the oven.
How's that?
That's perfect. That's exactly how I would have done it.
Okay.
And back into the oven.
Okay, now we're going to move on to our beet salad. We've got golden beets and candy cane beets from the garden. We've got salad greens from the garden. And we've got a salad dressing that's a bit of a Dutch Indonesian influence because there's a long history between the Spice Islands and Holland. So it starts off as a basic vinaigrette. We've got sherry vinegar. We've got red wine vinegar. And I like to use a light neutral oil like sunflower or peanut and whisk it in slowly to get an emulsion going. Okay, now the rest of the ingredients, we have some curry powder.
And some scary spice.
Scary spice. This is sambal olek. It's an Indonesian spice. It's a red hot chili paste. So please use sparingly. But it adds a nice little bit of heat. And I'm using organic kefir, which is sort of a buttermilk product to give it a nice creaminess. And it's got a little bit of that tang that buttermilk has as well. It's a nice product to use. So, Good.
Lovely.
Great.
That curry is wonderful in there. Little kick to that one. Just drizzle that over. Looks delicious.
Pretty. Okay, great. When we come back, we're going to dress the salad greens, put the salad all together, and check on the boerenkool. Oh, we're on. Time to check on the boerenkool, I think.
Good idea.
Smells fantastic. That smokiness coming up. Hot, 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 hot.
Yes, hot, hot, hot.
Okay.
All right.
The masher.
You can just
smells
return
great.
those to the pan, Aunt, and
Okay.
place them on top.
Oh,
There
that's
we
great.
go. We'll just hold that warm in the oven.
Okay. And we'll move on to the salad. Oh, it's a wonderful smell, that warm curry smell. It's gonna be great. Really nothing like using your hands to get a perfectly tossed salad. That way you coat all the leaves Okay, now we can put the salad together. Easy, easy to do. We'll just take a little mound right in the center of the plate and put some nice little beets around.
Oh, that's good. Lots of curry.
Yeah, nice and warm.
Looks pretty.
Okay, the salad's finished. Let's get the boar coal out of the oven and feed some hungry in-laws. Wow, oh, it's fantastic.
Bubbling nicely.
Look at that.
Ta-da!
Engineering. Trust engineering.
Gorgeous. Good work, Joe.
Beautiful.
Good engineering from you, Pi.
Good job, Joe.
Engineering, Anthony.
Oh, it's beautiful. Beautiful.
You did well.
Well, let's give it its first test meal then.
I think that's a great idea.
Okay. It's ironic how our roles have reversed. 20 years ago, I was the artist and my father-in-law, Joe, was the farmer. One thing that hasn't changed, though, is Joe's appetite, especially when it comes to traditional Dutch food. I guess Joe's used to handling hot objects.
Well, it does taste good, even if I do say so myself.
Eet smakelijk.
Eat smakelijk.
I hope I just told everyone to eat well, in Dutch. The value of having something made for you like Joe's table is that it represents who that person is every time we see it or use it. And in a similar way, Tina and I are trying to foster connections between the food we grow and the people who eat it. And the best part of organic farming is the chance to meet new friends. I'm Antony John, the Manic Organic, a man outstanding in his field.